I like this. Tom in California. Tom, you're live with Eric and V. What would you like to talk about today?
Hello, Eric and V. How are you two doing today?
Doing good.
Well, very well. What's up?
My question for you was, when an atheist loses a loved one, when they have passed away, what words of comfort or condolence do you recommend that we give them? Like, what would be appropriate to say and what would not be appropriate to say to them?
Hey, Tom, are you a believer?
I'm questioning at the moment.
I've got to say, that is the right question.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a right. Do you know how many? I've been doing this for years. You know how many people have called to talk about that? How many people have wanted to say, hey, how can we be there for our non-believing friends? Dude, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so you want to talk about comfort and grief, right?
Yes.
Okay. Listen to them. And really, I think that the advice that I would give is validate their feelings. You know, if someone's saying, hey, I'm feeling, really bad, I know that there are some people who will jump to, oh, well, you shouldn't be feeling bad. You've got all these great things going on in your life, right? An example is I have clinical depression. It's not something I can control. It's just something that I have to deal with. And people will go, why are you depressed? You've got all these wonderful things happening in your life. Cheer up. And I'm like, thanks. that totally worked.
Didn't think of that before.
Yeah, exactly. But if you listen and validate, that's one good way. What do you think, V?
Yeah, I think honestly, it's going to be different for everybody. And that's something that I realized very recently with the passing of somebody in my family. Was everybody in my family reacted very differently to it. And that reaction changed over time. And so this doesn't necessarily tie directly into a theistic versus an atheistic response, but understanding that, yeah, ask them exactly what you asked us. What do you need to hear right now? What can I say that will help? And sometimes it's, I don't want to talk at all. Can we just sit in quiet and be together? Sometimes it's, can you ask me about them? I want to talk about them and remember the good things about them. Sometimes maybe the grief is accompanied by anger, and then, they might need to vent. So when approaching somebody who is grieving, especially for somebody close to them, just understanding that apart from what you believe about the afterlife, what you believe about God, you are two humans who are grappling with a thing that is intrinsic to who we are as a species and as part of this universe where things die. And because we have acquired consciousness, to us, it means more than it does to anything else on this planet. And so it's a huge thing to grapple with by yourself, and to have somebody like you come into that space and say, hey, what can I do? What do you need to hear? That by itself is going to be immensely powerful.
Definitely.
Is there anything you recommend not saying?
They're in a better place. You'll see them again.
Yes, anything that promises a reunion, anything that promises that they continue to exist, that can be very painful, and often can lead to, if they have deconverted, if they have never been religious at all, it won't really make sense to them, and so it won't really be positively influencing them at all. And if they have deconverted or used to be religious, it probably will also come with a lot of negative feelings and a lot of being kind of triggered. So yeah, anything that talks about, it was meant to be, or God works in mysterious ways, or you'll see them again, these things that sound helpful to somebody who believes it can be very harmful to people who don't.
Definitely. And if I can tie in just a little bit more, also try and look at it this way, Tom. When a lot of us leave our religion, if we believed that there was life after death, a lot of us have to grieve twice.
Mm-hmm.
You grieved once when that person died, and then you grieved again when you realized that you were never going to see them again. It's hard, and it can, for at least in my opinion, and I know a lot of other atheist opinions, it kind of cheapens the experience. Instead, focusing on things like the life of that person and the great things that they did, with you and for you, and the impact they had on your lives, those things are ways that we can, keep that memory moving forward. But to say you're going to see them again, I think it could be really like, here's an example. Someone telling a family member, never telling them that they loved them. Oh, well, I'll get to make it up afterwards.
Hmm.
In the next life, I'll get to say I'm sorry. In the next life, I'll try harder. It just doesn't read very well.
Okay. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate you taking the call and taking the time for me.
Oh, we appreciate you asking. It's a really good question, and one that I think more people should ask. So thank you. Thank you for calling in.
Definitely.
You're welcome. Have a good day, guys.
You too.
You too.
So that is 2 really good theist callers in a row.
I'm feeling good.
Right? It's
Yeah, this is awesome.